guys, hey 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 guys, and welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be doing something a little bit bit differently. I am going to be reading to you guys today. So I know this probably won't be a super popular video, but I've been wanting to do this for a little while, and I'm comfortable enough with my research to know that I think this is all right. I think this is all right. And if it's not, I guess you won't be seeing this video. So we'll see. But yeah. So today I am going to be reading from my favorite book. I think I would give this give the honors to this book. So I was just trying to think, but yeah, no, definitely. So today I'll be reading Ready Player One. I know it's a little bit nerdy, but it's super interesting. The characters are great. I mean, the world. I mean, it really shines through its world building, and I think every day we get closer to the metaverse, it's just becoming more and more. It's just becoming more and more relevant. So, I figured we could read a chapter, the first chapter, and see how you guys like it. If you guys like this video, we can continue on to the future. Or if you like this style of video, but maybe don't care for this book, then we can move on to other books. But yeah, so just a little bit of a preface, just a little bit of a preface, so we're not here in the intro for forever. This book is about VR, virtual reality, and just the I guess the positives and negatives that can come with it. Also, blowing up to extremes because it's a book and it's super entertaining. It has to do with a lot with video games and 80s culture, and so it's pretty cool like that. And the movie is very good, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But definitely recommend reading this book. It is written by excuse me. It is written by Ernest Cline, and he has a second book out, or he has Ready Player 2 out. I haven't read it yet. I have it, but I just haven't had the time to read it. But yeah, this first book is very good. So let's just get into it. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Everyone my age remembers where they were and what they were doing when they first heard about the contest. I was sitting in my hideout watching cartoons when the news bulletin broke in on my video feed announcing that James Halliday had died during the night. I'd heard of Halliday, of course. Everyone had. He was the video game designer responsible for creating the Oasis, a massively multiplayer online game that had gradually evolved into the globally networked virtual reality most of humanity now used on a daily basis. The unprecedented success of the Oasis had made Halliday one of the wealthiest people in the world. At first, I couldn't understand why the media was making such a big deal of the billionaire's death. After all, the people of planet Earth had other concerns: the ongoing energy crisis, catastrophic climate change, widespread famine, poverty, and disease. Half a dozen wars. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Normally, the news feeds didn't interrupt everybody's interactive sitcoms and soap operas unless something really major had happened, like the outbreak of some kind of new killer virus, or another major city vanishing in a mushroom cloud. Big stuff like that. As famous as he was, Halliday's death should have warranted only a brief segment on the evening news, so the unwashed masses could shake their heads in envy when the newscasters announced the obscenely large amount of money that would be doled out to the rich man's heirs. But that was the rub. James Halliday had no heirs. He had died 67-year-old bachelor with no living relatives and, by most accounts, without a single friend. He'd spent the last 15 years of his life self-imposed isolation, during which time he spent most of his life in self-imposed isolation, during which time, if the rumors were to be believed, he'd gone completely insane. So the real jaw-dropping news that January morning, the news that had everyone from Toronto to Tokyo crapping in their cornflakes, concerned with the contents of Halliday's last will and testament, and the fate of his vast fortune. Halliday had prepared a short video message, along with instructions that it be released to the world media at the time of his death. He'd also arranged to have a copy of the video emailed to every single Oasis user the same morning. I still remember hearing the familiar electronic chime when it arrived in my inbox, just a few seconds after I saw the first news bulletin. His video message was actually a meticulously constructed short film titled Anorak's Invitation. A famous, eccentric, Halliday had harbored a lifelong obsession with the 1980s, the decade during which he'd been a teenager, and Anorak's Invitation was crammed with obscure 80s pop culture references, nearly all of which were lost on me the first time I viewed it. The entire video was just over 5 minutes in length, and in the days and weeks that followed, it would become the most scrutinized piece of film in history, surpassing even the Zapruder film in the amount of painstaking frame-by-frame analysis devoted to it. My entire generation would come to know every second of Halliday's message by heart. Anorak's Invitation begins with the sounds of trumpets, the opening of an old song called Dead Man's Party. The song plays over a dark screen for the first few seconds, until the trumpets are joined by a guitar, and that's when Halliday appears. But he's not a 67-year-old man, ravaged by time and illness. He looks just as he did in the cover of Time magazine back in 2014. A tall, thin, healthy-looking man in his early 40s, with unkempt hair and his trademark horned-rim eyeglasses. He's also wearing the same clothes he wore in the Time cover photo, faded jeans and a vintage Space Invaders t-shirt. Halliday's at a high school dance being held in a large gymnasium. He is surrounded by teenagers whose clothing, hairstyles, and dance moves all indicate that the time period is the late 1980s. Halliday is dancing too, something no one ever saw him do in real life. Grinning maniacally, he spins in rapid circles, swinging his arms and head in time with the song, flawlessly cycling through several signature 80s dance moves. But Halliday has no dance partner. He is, as the saying goes, dancing with himself. A few lines of text appear briefly at the lower left-hand corner of the screen, listing the names of the band, the song's title, the record label, and the year of release. Excuse me. As if this were an old music video airing on MTV. Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party, MCA Records, 1985. When the lyrics kick in, Halliday begins to lip-sync along, still gyrating. All dressed up with nowhere to go, walking with a dead man over my shoulder. Don't run away, it's only me. He abruptly stops dancing and makes a cutting motion with his right hand, silencing the music. At the same moment, the dancers and the gymnasium behind him vanish, and the scene around him suddenly changes. Halliday now stands at the front of a funeral parlor, next to an open casket. A second, much older Halliday lies inside the casket, his body emaciated and ravaged by cancer. Shiny quarters cover each of his eyelids. The younger Halliday gazes down at the corpse of his older self with mock sadness, then turns to address the assembled mourners. Halliday snaps his fingers and a scroll appears in his right hand. He opens it with a flourish and unfurls it to the floor, unraveling down the aisle in front of him. He breaks the fourth wall, addressing the viewer, and begins to read. I, James Donovan Halliday, being of sound mind and disposing memory, do hereby make, publish, and declare this instrument to be my last will and testament, hereby revoking any and all wills and codicils by me. I think that's how you pronounce that. With an asterisk. Careful analysis of this scene reveals that all of the teenagers behind Halliday are actually extras from various John Hughes team films who have been digitally cut and pasted into this video. His surroundings are actually from a scene in the 1989 film Heathers. Halliday appears to have digitally recreated the funeral parlor set and then inserted himself into it. High-resolution scrutiny reveals that both quarters were minted in 1984. The mourners are actually all actors and extras from the same funeral scene in Heathers. Winona Ryder and Christian Slater are clearly visible in the audience, sitting near the back. Oh, I'm sorry. That's weird that the book did that. The quote is not finished. Let me just restate it then. I, James Donovan Halliday, being of sound mind and disposing memory, do hereby make, publish, and declare this instrument to be my last will and testament, hereby revoking any and all wills and codicils by me, at any time heretofore made. He continues reading. Wow, I can't pronounce any words. He continues reading faster and faster, plowing through several more paragraphs of legalese. I can't pronounce any of these words until he's speaking so rapidly that the words are unintelligible. Then he stops abruptly. Forget it, he says. Even at that speed, it would take me a month to read the whole thing. Sad to say, I don't have that kind of time. He drops the scroll and it vanishes in a shower of gold dust. Let me just give you the highlights. The funeral parlor vanishes and the scene changes once again. Halliday now stands in front of an immense bank vault door. My entire estate, including a controlling share of my stock in the company, Gregarious Simulation Systems, is to be placed in escrow until such time as a single condition I have set forth in my will is met. The first individual to meet that condition will inherit my entire fortune, currently valued in excess of $240 billion. The vault door swings open, and Halliday walks inside. The interior of the vault is enormous, and it contains a huge stack of gold bars, roughly the size of a large house. Here's the dough I'm putting up for grabs, Halliday says, grinning broadly. What the hell? You can't take it with you, right? Halliday leans against the stack of gold bars, and the camera pulls in tight on his face. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what do you have to do to get your hands on all this moolah? Oh my gosh, sorry. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what do you have to do to get your hands on all this moolah? Well, hold your horses, kids. I'm getting to that. He pauses dramatically, with his expression changing to that of a child about to reveal a very big secret. Halliday snaps his fingers again, and the vault disappears. In the same instant, Halliday shrinks and morphs into a small boy wearing brown corduroys and a faded The Muppet Show t-shirt. The young Halliday stands in a cluttered living room with burnt orange carpeting, wood-paneled walls, and kitschy late 70s decor. Wow, I'm tripping over my own words, I'm sorry. A 21-inch Zenith television sits nearby with an Atari 2600 game console hooked up to it. This was the first video game system I ever owned, Halliday says, now in a child's voice. An Atari 2600. I got it for Christmas in 1979. He plops down in front of the Atari, picks up a joystick, and begins to play. My favorite game was this one, he says, nodding at the TV screen, where a small square is traveling through a series of simple mazes. It was called Adventure. Like many early video games, Adventure was designed and programmed by just one person. But back then, Atari refused to give its programmers credit for their work, so the name of the game's creator didn't actually appear anywhere on the packaging. On the TV screen, we see Halliday use a sword to slay a red dragon, although due to the game's crude low-resolution graphics, this looks more like a square using an arrow to stab a deformed duck. So the guy who created Adventure, a man named Warren Robinette, decided to hide his name inside the game itself. He had a key in one of the game's labyrinths. If you found this key, a small pixel-sized gray dot you could use... you could use it to enter a secret room where Robinette had hidden his name. On the TV, Halliday guides his square protagonist into the game's secret room, where the words, "Created by Warren Robinette," appear in the center of the screen. This, Halliday says, pointing to the screen with a genuine reference, was the very first video game Easter egg. Robinette hid it in the game's code without telling a soul. And Atari manufactured and shipped Adventure all over the world, without knowing about the secret room. They didn't find out about the Easter egg's existence until a few months later, when kids all over the world began to discover it. I was one of those kids, and finding Robinette's Easter egg for the first time was one of the coolest video gaming experiences of my life. The young Halliday drops his joystick and stands. As he does, the living room fades away and the scene shifts again. Halliday now stands in a dim cavern where light from unseen torches flickers off the damp walls in the same instant. Halliday's appearance also changes once again as he morphs into his famous Oasis avatar, Anorak, a tall-robed wizard with a slightly more handsome version of the adult Halliday's face, minus the eyeglasses. Anorak is dressed in his trademark black robes with his avatar's emblem, a large calligraphic letter A, embroidered on each sleeve. "Before I died," Anorak says, speaking in a much deeper voice, "I created my own Easter egg and hid it somewhere inside my most popular video game, the Oasis. The first person to find my Easter egg will inherit my entire fortune." Another dramatic pause. "The egg is well hidden. I didn't leave it lying under a rock somewhere. I suppose you could say that it's locked inside a safe that is buried in the secret room that lies hidden at the center of a maze located somewhere." He reaches up to tap his right temple. "Up here. But don't worry. I've left a few clues. But don't worry. I've left a few clues lying around to get everyone started. And here's the first one." Anorak makes a grand gesture with his right hand, and three keys appear, spinning slowly in the air in front of him. They appear to be made of copper, jade, and clear crystal. As the keys continue to spin, Anorak recites a piece of verse, and as he speaks each line, it appears briefly in flaming subtitles across the bottom of the screen. "3 hidden keys open 3 secret gates, wherein the errant will be tested for worthy traits, and those with the skill to survive these straits will reach the end where the prize awaits." As he finishes, the jade and crystal keys vanish, leaving only the copper key, which now hangs on a chain around Anorak's neck. The camera follows Anorak as he turns and continues further into the dark cavern. A few seconds later, he arrives at a pair of massive wooden doors set into the cavern's rocky wall. These doors are banded with steel, and there are shields and dragons carved into the surface. I couldn't playtest this particular game, so I worry that I may have hidden my Easter eggs a little too well. Made it too difficult to reach. I'm not sure. If that's the case, it's a little too late to change anything now. So I guess we'll see. Anorak throws open the double doors, revealing an immense treasure room, filled with piles of glittering gold coins and jewel-encrusted goblets. Then he steps into the open doorway and turns to face the viewer, stretching out his arms to hold open the giant double doors. "So without further ado," Anorak announces, "let the hunt for Halliday's Easter egg begin." Then he vanishes with a flash of light, leaving the viewer to gaze through the open doorway at the glittering mounds of treasure that lay beyond. Then the screen fades to black. At the end of the video, Halliday includes a link to his personal website, which had changed drastically on the morning of his death. For over a decade, the only thing posted there had been a short looping animation that showed his avatar, Anorak, sitting in a medieval library, hunched over a scarred work table, mixing potions and poring over dusty spell books with a large painting of a black dragon visible on the wall behind him. But now the animation was gone, and in its place there was a high score list But in its place there was a high score list, those that used to appear in old coin-operated video games. The list had 10 numbered spots, and each displayed the initials JDH, James Donovan Halliday, followed by a score of 6 zeros. This high score list quickly became to be known as the scoreboard. Just below the scoreboard, there was an icon that looked like a small leather-bound book, which linked to a free downloadable copy of Anorak's Almanac, a collection of hundreds of Halliday's undated journal entries. The almanac was over 1,000 pages long, but it contained few details about Halliday's personal life or his day-to-day activities. Most of the entries were his stream of consciousness observations on various classic video games, science fiction and fantasy novels, movies, comic books, and 80s pop culture, mixed with humorous diatribes, denouncing everything from organized religion to diet soda. The hunt, as the contest became known, quickly wove its way into global culture. Like winning the lottery, finding Halliday's Easter egg became a popular fantasy among adults and children alike. It was a game anyone could play, and at first there seemed to be no right or wrong way to play it. The only thing Anorak's Almanac seemed to indicate was that a familiarity with Halliday's various obsessions would be essential to finding the egg. This led to a global fascination with 1980s pop culture. 50 years after the decade had ended, the movies, music, games, and fashion of the 1980s were all the rage once again. By 2041, Spiked hair and acid-washed jeans were back in style, and covers of hit 80s pop songs by contemporary bands dominated the music charts. People who had actually been teenagers in the 1980s, all now approaching old age, had the strange experience of seeing the fads and fashions of their youth embraced and studied by their grandchildren. A new subculture was born, composed of the millions of people who now devoted every free moment of their lives to searching for Holiday's eggs. At first, these individuals were known simply as egg hunters, but this was quickly truncated to the nickname Gunters. During the first year of the hunt, being a Gunter was highly fashionable, and nearly every Oasis member user, and nearly every Oasis During the first year of the hunt, being a Gunter was highly fashionable, and nearly every Oasis user claimed to be one. When the first anniversary of Halliday's death arrived, the fervor surrounding the contest began to die down. An entire year had passed, and no one had found anything, not a single key or gate. Part of the problem was the sheer size of the Oasis. It contained thousands of simulated worlds where the keys might be hidden, and it could take a Gunter years to conduct a thorough search of any one of them. Despite all of the professional Gunters who boasted on their blogs that they were getting closer to a breakthrough every day, the truth gradually became apparent. No one really even knew exactly what it was they were looking for, or where to start looking for it. Another year passed, and another. Still nothing. The general public lost all interest in the contest. People began to assume that it was just an outlandish hoax perpetrated by a rich nutjob. Others believed that the egg really did exist, but no one was ever going to find it. Meanwhile, the Oasis continued to evolve and grow in popularity, protected from takeover attempts and legal changes by the ironclad terms of Holiday's will and the armies of rabid lawyers he had tasked with administering his estate. Halliday's Easter egg gradually moved into the realm of urban legend, and the ever-dwindling tribe of Gunters gradually became the object of ridicule. Each year, on the anniversary of Halliday's death, newscasters jokingly reported on their continued lack of progress, and each year more Gunters called it quits, concluding that Halliday had indeed made the egg impossible to find. And another year went by, and another. Then, on the evening of February 11th, 2045, an avatar's name appeared at the top of the scoreboard for the whole world to see. After 5 long years, the copper key had finally been found by an 18-year-old kid living in a trailer park on the outskirts of Oklahoma City. That kid was me. Dozens of books, cartoons, movies, and miniseries have attempted to tell the story of everything that happened next, but every single one of them got it wrong. So I wanted to set the record straight once and for all. So that was technically chapter 0. That was technically not chapter 1, but no, the prologue, I think it's called. I don't read books enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found it relaxing. I am sorry that I stumbled over so many words. It's funny. I can read out loud, perfectly fine. But as soon as I'm trying to read out loud on camera, I stumble over my words all the time, a whole ton. Wow, I can't even speak now. But it's also early in the morning, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I won't be too hard on myself. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, I can do more like it. If you didn't like this video, let me know, because I know it's a little bit weird. If you guys want to see more, I promise to try and not stumble over so many words. And also, I feel like I might have been going a little bit quick, a little bit quick. Let me know if that's the case too. Again, tons of things I just need to work on my own. Wow, maybe it's just me. I can't speak right now, but thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. Wow. You guys mean the world to me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.